Radio talk show host Tony Katz joins us now to talk about broccoli and so much more. Hi, Tony.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, it's obviously impossible to predict what the Supreme Court will decide until June. However, if you listen to Scalia there, as well as some of the other questions, it sounds like they're inclined not to believe that this is constitutional.
It sounds like this was the greatest comedy show of all time. You take that first day of oral arguments, those first 2 hours, there's constant laughter going on. That was the highlight. That was the first time you had a feeling that maybe this isn't going to go so well for the administration. But yeah, it's the line from Scalia. It's the line from Justice Kennedy, who has the ultimate question. Can you create commerce to then regulate it? The court's not in favor of this, it seems. You
know, the Tea Party has long painted the health care bill as an affront to American freedom, and yet the Obama administration, through the Solicitor General in their oral arguments, was trying to paint that the health care law is all about freedom, that having universal health care coverage is freedom. So who was right here? Did the Tea Party get it right? Because it seemed like the justices were leaning their way.
The people who recognize that the federal government can't force you into contract have it right. So that's Tea Party and a whole host of other people, because that's what it comes down to. It's not about wanting to take care of people. That's what charity is all about. This is about whether or not the federal government can force you into doing something. As Scalia just mentioned in the tease you just played, can they force you into a market to buy broccoli? What else can they force you into? That's a fundamental question about where power comes from. Power comes from the people. Natural laws come from God. Power comes from the people, given to the government to create the government. That's how it works. Government doesn't give rules to us. We give rules to them.
And you have your finger on the pulse of the people as a talk show host.
Thank you very much.
You hear from them, no doubt. And so what would have been the answer? I mean, obviously nobody wants to pay for somebody else's emergency care when they're taken by ambulance to an emergency room and they don't have insurance. So since people are so divided in this country about what the answer is supposed to be, what should they have done?
Well, if you're talking about the federal government, the answer is not engage people in forcing them into contract. We can have conversations about how to make insurance better. You can have a conversation about selling insurance across state lines. There's a value to that conversation, but it's not through Obamacare. Obamacare has to be completely gutted, completely thrown out, completely tossed, and considered a failure. Every time it's mentioned through history, it has to be called a failure of a concept.
Final question for you. The spin we're hearing now from the left is if this gets knocked down, it may be great for President Obama. I, in fact, saw an interesting story this morning that comparing him to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Comparing who to Obi-Wan?
President Obama, if this gets knocked down, he comes back
powerful.
stronger after it gets knocked down and killed. Well, what do you say?
I'll take Yoda. Secondly, and most importantly, this is a real case of left-on-left violence. You had Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi telling people we have to pass the bill so you can find out what is in it. You have to defend it. You have to go on talk radio and Twitter and Facebook, and you have to defend this bill morning, noon, and night. And the very second it comes up against a little bit of opposition, 6 hours in front of the Supreme Court, where they are unable, Donald Verrilli is unable to articulate his position, they throw it under the bus. They throw the people who defended it for 2 years under the bus. This is the leftist leadership attacking the leftist rank and file. When is anybody going to talk about the left-on-left violence in America? This is a serious problem, and it needs a telethon. And Dave Briggs needs to run that.
The force is strong with this one.
Yes.
Yeah. You have had a lot of caffeine.
Let me tell you, it's been a good morning, and I heard that Dave Briggs has already been hired and fired by Current TV. Is that true?
That's right.
Is that true?
It's exactly right.
All right, rules continue here. Tony Katz, thanks so much. And take Dave's iPhone on your way out.
No, done.
Thanks, Tony.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Coming up on the show,
oh, there's a fast
still ahead. He's trained to protect